What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Last time, we continued to make our way to White Forest in our lovely car. And then, we encountered a Strider that we haven't seen in quite a while, actually. Well, the last one was always at the end of the end of Episode 1, right before we got on the train that blew up. But, I guess, well, I mean, and actually, I don't even know what the time span for these games are. I mean, obviously, this game takes place right after the last game, and the last game takes place right after the end of the original game, but I don't know what, like, basically between the beginning of Half-Life 2 and now, what the actual time span is. Like, I don't know, it's been days, weeks, although technically, well, there was one skip, if you guys remember back from the Half-Life 2, when we got into that machine, and we came back, teleported back to City 17, there was a 7-day time skip. But after that, I don't know if much has changed, or, you know, how many days it's been, or what. But either way, we encountered a Strider, and Alex's best friend and companion, Dog, came in and helped us, and then, once again, she spoke for everybody and challenged Dog to a race, which, well, mistakes were made, and we kind of lost. But I did challenge him again afterwards, and turns out, it's actually not that hard. As long as you know that you have to go straight instead of turning, like I did, if you just press the forward button to gun it, it's really not that hard to beat him. Even though you slow down, but for some strange reason, even if you don't actually slow down yourself, you kind of slow down on the corners. Even though you slow down, you still beat him if you just, if you just hit the gas and don't let go. So it's really not that hard. But anyway, we finally reached the actual White Forest base, and what happens next? Well, we're about to find out.
No time now, Doc.
Go on without us. We got stuff to do. Oh no, what's that?
Well, now what?
All right, back to work, everyone. It's just another false alarm in the secondary silos.
Let's take a walk.
Same old Dr. Magnuson.
So, you ever used an AR-2 before? AR-2? No. Now, an AR-3, sure. Plenty of times. There's no such thing as an AR-3. Well, see, in the city, the place was lousy with AR-3s. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. So do you know what the alternative fire method does on the AR-2? It kills hunters. How did you city folk kill hunters? We sure as hell didn't use guns. We would just wrestle hunters to the ground with our bare hands. I used to kill 10, 20 a day, just using my fists. Oh, so when you're out in the field, you're going to be punching hunters? In the field? I'm not going out in the field. I'm a radio operator. That's it. Leave. You don't need to be here, and I'm not going to continue the lesson until you leave. I'm staying right here. I am serious. Leave. I'm not going to continue until you leave.
What, nobody's gonna talk to me? Well, fine, screw you too. Why'd this guy disappear too? Oh.
Let me get out of your way. Hey, Doc. Time for that later.
That's a familiar scene.
Hey, Gordon, man, you made it.
Dad!
Alex,
I was so afraid I wouldn't see you again.
there, sweetheart, we're together now. That's all that matters. And look at you, son. I knew if you both stayed together
Can you blame an old man for wanting grandkids? What happened to you?
Dad, it's not what it looks like. I'm fine.
Are you sure? Shouldn't we have that looked at?
Really, I'm fine. Where's Dr. Kleiner? We should get this data to him right away.
Okay. Yes, we should. You'll be glad for a chance to get out of the silo. This way, Gordon. The way he and Magnuson have been going, you think they were still competing for grant money.
Some things never change.
Hey, come on.
What? All you're doing is staring at a screen and there's nothing even happening. What, you can't take 2 seconds to talk to me? God, what a bunch of a-holes in this place.
You coming? Do you have any idea how long until the super portal's active?
We don't know for certain. We're keeping an eye on it.
And what about the Combine? Will we be able to launch before they attack?
It's going to be close. All it would take is one strider to destroy our rocket. But we're ready for it.
I'm sorry we couldn't get here any sooner, Dad.
Don't worry, sweetheart. I'm just so glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
The last thing on my mind was submitting it for the Kleiner certificate of approval. First off, with the result of staffing and supply deficiencies. And your critical conjugal parasite away from my nose cone! Now listen here, Magnuson. There's no call for hurtful comments. Good grief. Eli, why didn't you tell me they'd arrived?
Don't worry, Izzy. They just got here.
My dear, what a relief. Not to mention a delight to see you here at last. And Gordon, I see you and the HEV suit have taken excellent care of each other.
They're inseparable.
The data, people, the data! Kleiner, are you going to sync up the satellite, or should I postpone the launch to make time for a family reunion?
Oh, brother.
All right. I was just saying hello to Alex and Gordon.
Oh, fine. No one grants me a moment's peace, but by all means, unroll the red carpet.
Good grief. I only meant they might... Oh, never mind him. Now, my dear, where is this data packet you've been carrying? If I delay a single moment, I'll never hear the end of it.
You have my word on it.
It's right here, Dr. Kleiner. We've got a ton of data. The strange thing is, it was all attached to a transmission from Judith.
Transmission? From Judith?
Do you mean the message didn't get through?
We've got to see this right away.
Just let me start the decoding process. And then we can view it in the auxiliary control room.
For God's sake, hurry.
Yes, of course.
Another alarm?
Oh, what next in a parade of constant interruptions? Hello, is anyone there? Anyone? False alarms all day. Damn crows have been nesting in the tracks. I do not know how I am supposed to concentrate with all of this racket. Freeman, you're not doing anything. Make yourself useful and find out what the hell is going on in there.
Yes. Gordon, if you don't mind, I'd feel better if you had a look.
Catch up with us when you're done.
Freeman!
Magnuson, why don't you go eat a dick, prick?
The blast doors will have sealed due to the alert, so you'll have to go through the bottom of the launch tube. I'll open this hatch to let you down. Now, once you're down there, I'll have Uriah let you into the secondary silo.
See why there's nothing but a bunch of pricks in this place? A guy like this is...
Well, what are you waiting for, Freeman? A hug? The situation's not going to investigate itself.
Man, I am really tempted to shoot a grenade right into your pricky little face, you asshole.
Quickly, man. The ladder.
You know, if only I had my blue gravity gun, I would have freaking put you into this little hatch and blast you off into space, you... down, down, down.
Attention personnel, this is Dr. Magnuson. Since the secondary silo staff seem incapable of solving their little crow problem, you will be happy to hear we have put the popular Dr. Freeman on the job. We all look forward to his remedy, and I look forward to hearing the staff's excuses for why they couldn't handle it themselves. Thank you for your patience.
And of course, everybody's always got to volunteer Gordon Freeman to do everything around here, right? Because they're completely incapable of doing anything themselves. Really? Are you telling me that I'm gonna need to solve a freaking puzzle just to get into a little room? Because I don't really see anything anywhere else. Anything else that I need to do, which...
Well met. Freeman, the Magnuson has instructed me to admit you into the secondary silo. The secondary silo can be reached through here.
The Magnuson can go screw himself.
For God's sake, Freeman, what is taking you so long? Oh, I cannot concentrate with all of this racket. These feathered fiends are the most persistent I have ever... Wait, what is this?
See, if an alarm keeps going off over and over and over again with kind of no explanation, you gotta think that there's something else involved other than the false alarm. I mean, especially if it happens persistently over the course of, X amount of time. Like, if it happens once, obviously it's probably a false alarm. Even if it happens several times, as long as it happens just like, sporadically and not very consistently, just here and there several times, it still can be considered a false alarm. Now, if it happens like it's happening right now, where it's happening basically, it happens once, stops, and after a few minutes happens again, stops, happens again in a few minutes. If it happens in that sort of pattern, then clearly there's something else going on.
Right through here. Magnuson must have sent you.
See? What did I say?
Oh dear. This is a breach. A breach. Attention, attention personnel. This is Dr. Magnuson. We are experiencing a breach of internal base defenses. Please bear with us while we pinpoint the location of the breach.
Clearly it was some kind of an attack. Come on, you coward. This game just loves... Seriously. I don't think I've ever seen a game in this... watching through the first game and its expansions, playing through all the other games in this... playing through Half-Life 2, Episode 1, and obviously Episode 2. I haven't seen a single one of these games that's throwing as many enemies as these hunters. Like, seriously. There hasn't been a single game in this series that threw this many of the same type of enemy at you at all. Like, you know, we faced a few of the antline guards, we faced a few striders, we faced... Obviously, the Combine are like peon, you know, they're like the foot soldiers, so you're going to see quite a lot of them, because they're like the standard enemies, so it's not surprising about that, but like I said, all the higher enemies, like the Antline Guard, like the Strider, like... I guess really those are the only only two big name enemies. Like, you haven't seen, the game did not throw that many of those types of enemies at us as much as they throw in these hunters. Since they were introduced, since their introduction, it has been like, we had to face probably like 15 of these things since they were introduced in the beginning of the game. I gotta say, that's quite ridiculous. And I would say facing off against, you know, 1 or 2 every chapter is not that bad. But I have to face off like 15 of them